If you've priced out a new computer, upgraded a laptop, or even just glanced at graphics card prices recently, you've probably noticed something strange happening. Prices are climbing, fast, and not because of chip shortages the way we saw a few years ago. This time it's memory, plain, ordinary RAM, the component sitting inside literally every computer, phone, and server on Earth, just had one of the most violent price spikes the industry has seen in years. Contract prices for conventional DRAM memory jumped somewhere between 90 and 95% in a single quarter earlier this year. Then, instead of cooling off, prices spiked again the following quarter, climbing another 58 to 63% on top of that. Do the math on 2 consecutive quarters like that, and you're looking at memory prices that have more than tripled in roughly 6 months. Samsung, SK Hynix, and Micron, the 3 companies that have dominated global memory manufacturing for decades, are watching this happen in real time, and there's a very specific reason they can't simply flip a switch and fix it. Why RAM prices suddenly matter to everyone, not just gamers. Before getting into why this is happening, it's worth understanding just how deeply RAM prices ripple through the entire economy, because this isn't simply a story about PC building getting more expensive for hobbyists. Every laptop, every smartphone, every data center server, every car with modern electronics, essentially every piece of consumer and industrial technology manufactured today contains memory chips. When the underlying cost of that memory spikes by this much, manufacturers across every single one of those product categories face a genuine choice: absorb the cost themselves and watch their profit margins shrink, or pass that cost along directly to consumers through higher prices. Historically, when memory costs spike this dramatically, manufacturers absorb what they can for a quarter or two, then start passing the rest along, meaning this specific price spike is likely to show up in the cost of considerably more than just the RAM sticks PC builders buy directly. That's exactly why a price movement in a component most people never think about directly ends up mattering so broadly. This isn't a niche story limited to computer enthusiasts. It's a supply chain story, with the potential to ripple into the price of your next phone upgrade, your next laptop purchase, and plenty of other electronics you might not immediately connect to memory chip pricing at all. Why memory prices actually spiked this hard? Here's the core dynamic driving this entire story, and it starts with a company most people associate with chatbots and image generators, not memory chips: the artificial intelligence industry. Modern AI systems, particularly the massive data centers training and running today's most advanced AI models, consume staggering amounts of a specific premium category of memory called high-bandwidth memory, along with considerable quantities of high-speed server-grade DRAM and solid-state storage. As AI infrastructure spending has exploded over the past couple of years, demand for exactly these premium memory categories has surged right alongside it. And critically, these premium products carry dramatically higher profit margins for manufacturers than the conventional, everyday DRAM used in ordinary consumer PCs and laptops. Samsung, SK Hynix, and Micron responded to that shift the way any profit-driven company would. They redirected manufacturing capacity toward the higher-margin AI memory products, since building the specialized memory data centers desperately need and will pay premium prices for makes considerably more financial sense than continuing to prioritize the conventional memory used in ordinary consumer electronics. That's a completely rational business decision from each individual company's perspective. But when all 3 of the industry's dominant manufacturers make essentially the same capacity shifting decision around the same time, the conventional memory market that consumer electronics actually depends on suddenly finds itself with meaningfully reduced supply, precisely the kind of imbalance that sends prices spiking the way we've seen play out over these past 2 quarters. Where China actually fits into this story. This is exactly the gap Chinese memory manufacturer CXMT has been stepping into, and it's worth being precise about the role the company is actually playing here, rather than overstating it. CXMT isn't the primary cause of this price spike. That distinction matters, and we'll come back to it. But the company has been positioning itself as a genuine alternative supplier, specifically in the conventional memory segment that Samsung, SK Hynix, and Micron have been deprioritizing in favor of premium AI memory products. We've covered CXMT's remarkable rise on this channel before. The company that went from relative obscurity to briefly becoming mainland China's most valuable publicly traded stock following a dramatic IPO debut. And the same company Apple has reportedly begun testing as a potential memory supplier for iPhones sold specifically inside China. That existing momentum puts CXMT in a genuinely advantageous position right now. At exactly the moment established global manufacturers are pulling capacity away from conventional memory to chase more profitable AI-related products, CXMT has real, growing manufacturing capacity specifically aimed at that conventional memory segment, precisely the category currently experiencing the most severe supply squeeze and the most dramatic price increases. That's not a coincidence. It's a Chinese manufacturer capitalizing on a gap that established Western and South Korean suppliers, deliberately created by chasing higher margins elsewhere, stepping in to capture market share in exactly the product category those established players decided was less worth their attention right now. The honest nuance this story needs. Here's where I want to be genuinely careful, because it would be easy to oversimplify this into a story where China single-handedly caused a global memory crisis. And that's not actually what's happening. The primary driver behind this price spike is overwhelmingly the AI industry's surging demand for premium memory products, pulling manufacturing capacity and investment attention away from conventional DRAM across the entire industry, Samsung, SK Hynix, and Micron included, entirely independent of anything China specifically has done. CXMT's rise is better understood as a company capitalizing on an opportunity that already existed, rather than the underlying cause of the shortage in the first place. If CXMT didn't exist at all, conventional memory prices would almost certainly still be spiking dramatically right now, driven by the exact same AI-related capacity reallocation happening across the established manufacturers. What China's growing role does change is what happens next, specifically how quickly this supply squeeze might eventually ease, and which companies end up capturing the resulting market share once it does. A world without a credible alternative supplier like CXMT would likely mean this shortage drags on longer, with established manufacturers under less competitive pressure to eventually shift capacity back toward conventional memory once AI-related demand growth inevitably moderates. A world where CXMT continues scaling its own conventional memory production means genuine competitive pressure on the established players, potentially both easing the shortage somewhat faster and permanently shifting a meaningful share of this specific market away from Samsung, SK Hynix, and Micron toward a Chinese manufacturer that, until quite recently, most of the industry considered a minor, catching-up player rather than a genuine competitive threat. Why Samsung specifically can't just fix this? It's worth understanding exactly why Samsung, despite being one of the largest, most sophisticated memory manufacturers on the planet, can't simply reverse this situation quickly, even if the company wanted to prioritize conventional memory production again right now. Semiconductor manufacturing capacity isn't something companies can flexibly reallocate overnight. Building new fabrication capacity, or even substantially reconfiguring existing production lines to shift back toward a different product mix, typically takes many months at minimum, often considerably longer when it involves genuinely new manufacturing capacity, rather than simply adjusting an existing line's output ratio. Samsung made real, substantial capital investment decisions to expand its AI-focused memory production specifically because that's where the most profitable, fastest-growing demand currently sits, and reversing those investment decisions isn't simply a matter of executive preference. It involves genuine, time-consuming physical reconfiguration of expensive, highly specialized manufacturing infrastructure. There's also a straightforward financial incentive question worth acknowledging honestly. Even as conventional memory prices spike dramatically, the AI-focused premium memory segment likely still offers better overall margins for Samsung specifically, meaning the company faces a genuine, not entirely obvious business decision about how much manufacturing capacity to actually shift back toward conventional memory, versus simply letting conventional memory prices continue climbing while the company continues prioritizing its most profitable product lines. That's exactly the kind of situation where a determined competitor like CXMT, specifically prioritizing the conventional memory segment Samsung has partially deprioritized, can make real, durable market share gains, not because Samsung lacks the technical capability to compete, but because Samsung's own rational business incentives are currently pointing it in a somewhat different direction. What this means for anyone actually buying electronics right now. For anyone watching this video specifically because they're trying to figure out whether to buy a new computer or upgrade existing hardware right now, here's the honest, practical read on where things currently stand. Memory prices climbing this dramatically, this quickly, tends to work through the broader consumer electronics market with some meaningful lag, meaning the full impact on finished product prices, laptops, pre-built desktops, even certain smartphone models, likely hasn't fully hit retail shelves yet as of this specific video. Manufacturers holding existing component inventory purchased before this price spike can continue selling finished products at earlier pricing for a while, but as that pre-spike inventory gets used up and manufacturers need to purchase new memory at current, dramatically higher prices, that cost increase tends to show up in retail pricing with a delay measured in months rather than happening instantly. That timing matters practically. If you're genuinely considering a memory-intensive purchase and can reasonably move that purchase forward rather than waiting, there's a real argument that current pricing, even if it already reflects some of this spike, likely beats whatever pricing shows up several months from now once the full cost increase has fully worked through manufacturers' supply chains and finished product pricing. That's not financial advice specifically tailored to your individual situation, but it's the honest, practical read on the pricing trajectory this specific supply dynamic suggests. How this compares to previous memory shortages. It's worth putting this specific price spike in historical context, because the memory chip industry has actually experienced significant boom and bust price cycles before, and understanding that history helps calibrate reasonable expectations for how this specific episode might eventually resolve. Memory chip pricing has historically been one of the more volatile corners of the entire semiconductor industry, prone to dramatic multi-year cycles where oversupply drives prices down considerably, prompting manufacturers to cut production, which eventually creates the conditions for a supply shortage and a corresponding price spike once demand catches back up, before manufacturers respond to those higher prices by ramping production back up, eventually swinging the cycle back toward oversupply again. That boom and bust pattern has played out repeatedly over the decades, driven by different specific triggers each time, sometimes a genuine demand surge, sometimes manufacturers collectively overbuilding capacity during a previous boom. What makes the current cycle somewhat different from many historical memory price spikes is the specific nature of the demand driving it. Previous memory shortages have often been triggered by broader consumer electronics demand surges, a particularly strong smartphone or PC upgrade cycle, for instance, demand that tends to moderate relatively predictably once the underlying consumer buying wave naturally runs its course. The AI infrastructure demand driving the premium memory segment right now doesn't necessarily follow that same predictable consumer demand pattern. Data center buildouts tied to AI training and deployment represent a genuinely different kind of sustained, enterprise-driven demand, one that industry analysts widely expect to continue growing for multiple more years, rather than moderating on a predictable near-term timeline the way a consumer electronics upgrade cycle typically does. That distinction matters for anyone trying to guess how long this specific memory squeeze might realistically persist, since it suggests the underlying demand pressure pulling manufacturing capacity toward premium AI memory products may prove considerably more durable than a typical historical memory price cycle would suggest. What would actually bring prices back down? Given that context, it's worth being concrete about what would actually need to happen for conventional memory prices to meaningfully ease from their current elevated levels, rather than leaving that question as a vague, open-ended uncertainty. The most straightforward path involves genuinely new manufacturing capacity coming online, whether from established players like Samsung, SK Hynix, and Micron building entirely new production facilities specifically dedicated to conventional memory, or from competitors like CXMT continuing to scale their own production meaningfully beyond current levels. Either path takes real time. Building genuinely new semiconductor fabrication capacity from the ground up typically takes several years from initial planning through actual production ramp-up, meaning even if every major manufacturer announced new conventional memory capacity investments today, meaningful supply relief likely wouldn't materialize for a considerable stretch of time still ahead. A second, faster-acting path involves the underlying AI demand itself moderating enough that established manufacturers find it financially sensible to shift some existing capacity back toward conventional memory production, even without building entirely new facilities. That path could theoretically move faster than building new capacity from scratch, but it depends on AI infrastructure spending genuinely slowing down meaningfully, something most current industry forecasts don't expect happening particularly soon, given how much continued investment major technology companies have already committed toward expanding their AI computing infrastructure over the next several years specifically. Realistically, the most likely outcome probably involves some combination of both factors playing out gradually over an extended period, incremental new capacity slowly coming online from multiple manufacturers simultaneously, combined with AI demand growth eventually moderating somewhat from its current explosive pace, together gradually easing the current supply squeeze rather than any single dramatic event suddenly resolving it. That's not a particularly satisfying answer if you're hoping for a quick, clean resolution, but it's the honest, realistic picture based on how semiconductor manufacturing capacity and enterprise AI demand actually tend to evolve over time. My honest read on this entire situation is that it's a genuinely useful case study in how a shortage in one specific, seemingly unrelated part of the technology industry, artificial intelligence infrastructure demand, can ripple outward and dramatically affect prices across products that have nothing directly to do with AI at all. Most people buying a new laptop right now have no direct interest in AI data center buildouts, and yet that exact demand surge is a meaningful part of why their next purchase is about to cost noticeably more. Where China's role in this story gets genuinely interesting isn't as the cause of the shortage, which it clearly isn't, but as the beneficiary of an opportunity the established players inadvertently created by chasing more profitable products elsewhere. CXMT stepping into exactly the market segment Samsung, SK Hynix, and Micron have been deprioritizing represents precisely the kind of opportunistic, well-timed positioning that's allowed the company to go from a minor, catching-up manufacturer to a genuine competitive force in a remarkably short window, riding a wave that established industry giants themselves set in motion, rather than one China specifically engineered from the outset. There's a broader lesson worth taking from this story, one that applies well beyond just memory chips specifically. Markets rarely stay static for long, and a shift in priorities among a small handful of dominant players, even a rational, individually sensible shift like chasing higher AI-related margins, can create genuine openings for competitors that didn't previously seem like serious threats at all. CXMT wasn't positioned as a major Samsung or Micron competitor 18 months ago in most industry analysis. The specific combination of the established players' own strategic choices, chasing premium AI memory margins, and CXMT's own sustained manufacturing investment happening to align at exactly the right moment is what's turned a previously minor player into a genuine beneficiary of one of the more consequential supply chain shifts this industry has seen in years. That's worth remembering the next time a dominant company's seemingly rational strategic pivot gets discussed purely in terms of that company's own upside, without considering who else might be perfectly positioned to capitalize on whatever gap that pivot leaves behind. So here's what I want to know from you. If you're in the market for a new computer right now, does this pricing story change your timeline? Buying sooner to beat further price increases? Or waiting to see whether increased competition from manufacturers like CXMT eventually helps bring prices back down? I'd genuinely like to know where you land. Drop your take in the comments below. I read every single one. If you want to keep following exactly how this memory price story develops, along with everything else unfolding across China's rapidly growing semiconductor manufacturing industry, this is exactly what Eastern Engine covers every single week. Hit subscribe so you don't miss the next update, because this specific story has real, direct consequences for anyone buying electronics over the coming months. See you in the next video.